Classic. Oh na na na, oh na na na. I remember then when we done it hustle for the street, knowing one day you go pay. And I was start having the belief, me I get paid too. No retreat, no surrender. But one of the rules of the game. No retreat, no surrender. My brother, keeping your head up high is the way. I wanna say thank you to my fans.
Hi guys, I'm Mimi of JustDoing and welcome back to my channel. Hey, so today I'm going to be doing a video basically about how I make my money, and I think it's so important, especially this week where we've seen like basically Black China's been exposed, and we've seen what these Instagram models basically have to do to earn their money. And I said last time when I was talking about social media that you should aspire to people that actually show you how they get their money, how they work, that they're in business, that, you know, like they're striving, you know, and working hard, and that's why they have nice things to show for it. Those type of people that you should look up to, and not the ones that are posting Ferraris, you know, and basically they don't really have a job except for laying on their back. So yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit about how I make my money. I'm sure there's lots of people that make a lot more money than I do, but like I just like to keep it real, and I don't want people coming on my social media and seeing, you know, designer bags, seeing like property, or that I travel 4 or 5 times a year and wondering how I afford it. I'll be very straight up and very honest with you about how I do that. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask below. I'm an open book. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, comment, and make sure you subscribe to my channel so you get updates when I post new videos. Ciao. So I'm going to start right at the top. A large part of like my success or like my journey is my education. I have 3 degrees kind of. So I did the undergraduate law degree at the University of West of England in Bristol. They have a really good law program, and I think they're only one of 2 universities that are able to teach the law school course for the bar. So I went to do my undergraduate degree there, and after I did that for 3 years, I stayed on to do my master's degree there. I did my master's in commercial law, and that was, so I did my undergraduate degree from 2007 to 2010. I did my master's from 2010 to 2011, and then I went to law school and sat the bar, and I did that from 2011 to 2012. So yeah, like I've got quite a bit of education behind me. So obviously from that you can tell that I wanted to be a lawyer growing up. But when I got to law school, I believe 3 weeks in, I was like, Mom, I don't like it. I don't want to do this for a living. I'd already paid like, my parents rather, I'd already paid like 15k for just 1 year of uni. That's how much it costs. And I was like, Mom, this is the last week for me to get your money back and like drop out, you know. But my mom's like, we do not quit in this family. You need to see this through, and if you decide that it's something you don't want to do, we will support you with whatever you do next, but you need to see this through. So I did very well, you know, all things considering. I came out with a very competent, which is 70% and above, and there it was. I was a qualified barrister. Now when it came time to like applying for jobs, obviously I should have been applying for bar jobs and looking for pupillage, but I knew I didn't want to do that, so I never applied for any jobs pursuing being a barrister. So after law school, I really didn't know what it was I wanted to do. I spent pretty much a year and a half looking for a graduate job that paid well, and I couldn't find anything. Like a year and a half. It was just after the crash. Trying to find a job at that time was almost impossible. So from 2012 to 2013, I was basically waitressing semi-part-time to full-time and living back at home. So yeah, about a year and a half. So at the time I was thinking I will not accept any job unless it is 25k and above, because I was like, I have 3 degrees, it costs a fortune, I'm not going to accept anything. But after a year and a half, I had to get real. Like, if you don't take a job, you will be waitressing for the rest of your life. So I ended up taking a job in legal sales. and the starting salary I believe was 18k, and it was way less than what I actually wanted, but I really had to humble myself and eat some good old-fashioned humble pie, and I took that job, and it turned out I was really good at sales. So within like a few months I was earning the equivalent of 30k, so even more than what I had initially said I wasn't going to settle for. But that kind of opened my eyes to the world of sales and how much money could be earned there if you were good at what you did. So I stayed in that job for about a year, and then I wanted to progress. Now the progression I was looking for was more to account management, which is sales, but it's not hard selling. You basically have a group of customers that buy from the company you work for, and you look after the relationship. So I then applied for a job with Procter Gamble for the Wella division, and I got that job. I got that job in 2014. And I was in that role for 2 years, and that job really changed the game with regards to my finances. So I'll be honest about what I was earning. My basic salary at the time was 24k when I started, but again, I was very good at it. I overachieved and excelled in terms of my targets. So, you know, when I look at like what I took home at the end of a year, I was earning £42,000, so the equivalent of like 50,000 euros, or 52 or $55,000. So yeah, I was earning really good money. I was 26, and the best thing about that job as well were the perks and the benefits you got with it. So I got a brand new Lexus. You had like a whole fleet of cars, BMWs, Mercedes. I chose a Lexus. I got a brand new Lexus, custom built for me. I think it was worth 26k, so company perk. I also had my meals paid for, as well as petrol, and that job actually allowed me to save up money to purchase my first home. So basically my parents matched the amount that I saved. So in 2015, a year after starting that job, I was able to buy a 2-bedroom flat. So 2015 to 2016 for me were absolutely dope. I literally had no expenses. My car was paid for, my food in a sense was paid for, and my accommodation was essentially paid for, because I got a mortgage. But what I did, knowing I don't have a husband, I don't have a boyfriend, I don't have any kids, is I looked for a property that had 2 bedrooms but had a separate living room. I didn't want one that was like open plan or like a joint kitchen living room. I looked for one that had a separate bedroom. And I converted the living room into a 3rd bedroom. Now the property I bought was quite run down, so I got a really good deal for it, and I actually did the property up myself. There were a lot of things I didn't know how to do, like putting in wooden floors, tiling, like putting electrical equipment together. I installed the stove, like so many things I didn't know how to do, but I learned mostly from YouTube, because when I got quotes to actually do up the property, I was like, oh my god, I have no money. Like after I bought this property, I didn't have any money left over to actually do it up. So I ended up doing a lot of the work myself, and like when I bought it, it was at like a 30, and I think I managed to take it up to like an 80%. I'll put some pictures in there, but that was all me. But yeah, so what I did once it was completed is I rented out the 2 bedrooms that came with it, and I stayed in the large living room bedroom convert. You guys will have seen that in my bedroom tour. I'll put a clip in here or something. And basically from renting out the 2 bedrooms, my flat pretty much paid for itself. It paid for pretty much all of the bills as well. So basically that year 2015 to 2016 I was earning 40+k, and I literally had no expenses to speak of. I went to Miami, I went to New York, I went to Greece, I traveled everywhere, Spain, Italy, and I was really living the life, buying designer items, you know, whatnot. But then you guys know the end of 2016 I decided to move to Spain. Now when I moved to Spain, the earning potential in Spain is a lot less, but I took a significant pay cut. So I was probably earning 33% of what I was earning prior, you know, to my move. I was earning like a third of my pay packet. But the reason I did that was, first of all, I wanted to be happy, and I knew the money and, you know, what I had wasn't making me happy. But the job that I now work for, I work for Hewlett Packard Enterprise, and in that job, it is the biggest tech company in the world, and it would be almost impossible to move into tech sales without having prior experience in the UK. But in Barcelona, I was able to move into that, and that is where a lot of money is in tech sales. So a year and a half here, my CV will look epic, and I can basically do whatever I want with that. So for me, that was just a smart career move. Unfortunately, my spending budget, my mindset hasn't adapted to my new earnings, so I'm still kind of living above my means. And because I didn't plan my relocation to Barcelona, I've ended up maxing out a few credit cards. But my pay has started improving now that I've passed my probation, now that my commissions and bonuses are coming in. So I'm trying to get my finances back on track. But basically, even though I don't earn as much as before, I still have really good benefits. Like in 2 weeks, I'm going to Nigeria with work for almost 2 weeks, and the company's paying for that, all expenses, food, hotel, flights, you name it, that's all included. And then they're paying for me to fly to England as well. So yeah, there's a lot of things included. You guys saw my Prague trip, that was all expensed by the company. So I'll have gone on 3 trips this year to 3 different countries, and that would have all been paid for by my job. So yeah, that's a little bit how I make my money. But now that obviously I'm in Spain, all 3 bedrooms back home are rented out, and that brings in over 13,000 a year pounds for me. So that house pretty much just pays for itself. It covers my credit card bills and a little bit on top as well for me. So yeah, that's the main thing. So even though I have like designer bags, I travel a lot, that's really how, like, the traveling now is primarily through my job, because I can't afford to travel the way I was traveling a few years ago. So yeah, that's pretty much how I make my money. I do also make money on YouTube, but I will cover that in a separate video. But yeah, there's nothing to write home about. So yeah guys, I think it's good that people be honest about their finances. I don't want you coming to my Instagram and thinking, oh god, this girl's always traveling, she's always wearing like designer items, you know, and like, where does she get her money? I work hard, you know, I studied hard, I worked hard, and I've put a lot of time into planning and plotting my career. And to be quite honest with you, 95% of my wardrobe is high street items. You know, only 5% is actually designer. I'm not a designer snob, you know, I'm just as happy in Primark as I am in Prada. So yeah, that's pretty much how I make my money. So like, especially in terms of my properties that I bought, I would say that's a good idea. If you can buy a property and rent out the spare rooms, or even if you can lease a property and the landlord is happy for you to sublet, that's a good way to earn additional income, you know, and maybe cut your costs down, because that for me has been really helpful. When I moved to Spain, I didn't have money coming in. Knowing that my property would still pay for itself has been an absolute relief. And now I'm looking into buying a property in Spain by taking out the equity I have in my UK property and putting it into Spain. So property for me, I always feel like is a good investment, but the best investment for me has definitely been my education. Like, people see my CV and they're like, yeah, we want to interview you. And when I'm there face to face, the experience I got from law school, public speaking every day, and presenting arguments, presentations, you know, I shine when it comes to presentations. So invest in yourself, invest in your education. Thank you, mama, for not letting me drop out of law school. But yeah, keeping it short and sweet. Like, hopefully this is not the limit. There will be much more money made in the future. But I just want to like encourage you guys to work hard. Please don't take the Black China route. It's okay if you do, but you know, just be smart. You know, there's many other ways that you can make money apart from lying on your back and be successful. So yeah, that's me done, looking good, feeling good. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe, and I will see you guys soon.
Classic. Oh na na na, oh na na na. I remember then when we done it hustle for the street, knowing one day you go pay. And I was start having the belief, me I get paid too. No retreat, no surrender.